What's up, boys and girls? I've got my daughter, Vera Winifred Vannoy. She's a little over 9 months old. She's joining me in this intro today. So if you hear her giggling, or she's a little tornado of destruction right now, or causing a ruckus, that's what's going on. My last 3 years training QBs in San Antonio have been amazing. I've had the opportunity to train and mentor every different type of QB you can imagine. When you work with me, you're not just getting me for 90 minutes on the field. I'm big on getting to know each and every one of my QBs and their families off the field as well. I really enjoy the personal relationships and bonds formed with my players and their families. I've been invited to and enjoy attending their birthday celebrations, graduation ceremonies and parties, signing days, academic and athletic award ceremonies, and so many other important events that happen in each and every one of their lives. Building these relationships helps with our on-field training. I think my guys start to understand that I truly care about them and their well-being, that even if they stopped playing football or their career came to an end, we would still be close, or I would still be a person in their life that they could reach out to. This makes their on-field success mean that much more to us. That is another reason why you will rarely find me in the stands of one of my QB's games. I care about my guys so much, and I know how hard that they've worked to prepare themselves for their season, that the last thing I want to hear is another parent or fan who has no knowledge of the game rag them for 4 quarters, no matter how they're performing. I'll either be on the sideline or off to the side of the field where I don't have to hear the nonsense. Now I know how my mom and grandma felt when they sat in the stands for my games and heard fans yell at me. About 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting a young sophomore QB from Harlandale High School named Jacob Delgado. Jacob, his mother, and his brother showed up to our practice field for his initial evaluation. As I started to get to know the 6'3" lefty, I met a guy that was calm, soft-spoken, but that I could tell really loved football. Jacob was a good athlete, but was rough around the edges. We needed to polish up his throwing mechanics and teach him all the important footwork that is instrumental in being a top QB. Jacob had the size and the desire, so it was time to go to work. I could never have imagined then that Jacob would go on to be one of my favorite quarterbacks that I've ever coached, and I would see him almost as a younger brother or cousin you want to look out for. I'm so proud of Jacob and all his accomplishments. Jacob is a 2-year starter at Harlandale High School. He's led his team to the playoffs in both years. He was invited to and competed in the top 2 QB challenges in the country, Nike Elite 11 and the Rivals QB Challenge. He's being recruited by college football programs across the country, and more importantly, he makes straight A's in all AP classes. He's the type of quarterback that every head coach would love to have lead their team. And I'll tell you this, the kid is tough. I've seen him get up and walk away from major collisions that most guys wouldn't have gotten up from. He's played with pulled muscles in his legs, bruised ribs, a lacerated hand, and the list goes on. You would have to drag him off the field because he's not going to come off on his own. If I was a head coach for a college program, Jacob Delgado would be my QB. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up your seatbelts and enjoy my conversation with the pride of Harlandale High School, Jacob Delgado.
Step inside, walk this way, you and me, babe. Hey, hey!
Stealing goats. That's no bueno, dude. How long was he missing?
Like 3 days.
Was your boy like upset?
Yeah, he was more upset that because we knew it was probably gonna happen, but the damage they did to his yard, like his fences and stuff, that's why he was more mad.
Wait, okay, so what did they do to his yard?
Because we had built him like an actual like cage, like a fence, like fenced it off, and like we're thinking they couldn't catch him because he's fast, so like they tried compressing the gate. And, like, they ended up messing it all up. Like, the wires were everywhere. And his little house that he had, like, a little hut was broken.
But you can't mess up a goat's home. What's wrong with that?
So, like, they made it a really big deal. Like, cops got involved and stuff.
Dude, how have I not heard about this? There's got to be, like, at least at the Frontier Bowl, I can't believe no one had, like a missing goat sign up or, you know,
well, McCullum had a sign that said, "Don't be mad."
That's pretty funny, dude.
But at the end of the 4th quarter, they had took it down.
Do you think it was just like, how many people do you think were in on it?
I'm pretty sure it was a couple of them, a good like 4 or 5.
4 or 5 to steal the goat. got to go back. McCollum. McCollum doesn't have anything cool to steal, do they?
No.
I was gonna say, did they have any like? They have got a statue at their school, like of a cowboy or anything like that? No, anything worth?
No. And during Frontier Bowl week, we were moving Alvin all over the place. He ended up like at 4 different houses.
Oh, so no one would know where the goat is.
I think he ended up at the owner's grandma's house.
And you you can't keep a goat at inside a house either because they'll tear everything up, dude. Yep. And they poop like all over the place. It's insane. So he's gonna keep this goat as a pet like for forever.
Yeah.
I wonder how long goats live. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Maybe like a dog or. And how did he pick Alvin as his name?
I think that was already his name.
Oh, okay.
When we got him.
How much does a goat cost?
I think it was like $300.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
But we spent no money. The football team like had a little fundraiser. Like they were just asking people in the halls, and people just kept giving us money.
Yeah, for the
goat.
Buy a goat fundraiser. You got to put like a little Harlandale jersey on him or something.
They have one.
Do they really? Yeah.
They got him a jersey.
You guys are coming up with everything. I like it. What can you do? Goats. That's insane. Stealing goats. Harlandale. Alvin. The Harlandale goat. Does the goat's jersey have a number?
I think 00.
00. No 12?
Nah, just 00. Give him his own number.
Does he have a name on the back of his jersey?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Cool. What's up, boys and girls? We got Jacob Delgado in the studio today. We're watching a little Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. It's Thursday night football. What's happening, Jake?
Getting ready for tomorrow's game.
Who y'all playing?
San Marcos Rattlers.
Nice. We just did a little pregame film study before we got this thing popping, and definitely see some good things that the Rattlers are presenting. So I'm excited. What about you?
Very excited. Yeah. Team's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't wait to get out there and play.
Yeah, I think with y'all's offense, you guys can definitely execute, and it could be a big night. I'm excited for you guys. I will be there. Harlandale Memorial Stadium. Been
7 o'clock.
Been there a couple times. So 7:30 or 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
Oh, because online it says 7:30.
Pretty sure it's 7.
Okay. I bet you Jake doesn't even know when his own game starts here.
Show up early. They'll be tailgating and everything.
That's the one thing about Harlandale. Yeah, if you guys, they had the Frontier Bowl last week. I didn't go. I've been the week before though. And how long's the Frontier Bowl been going on?
We played the 52nd this year.
52nd. It's one of the oldest Texas high school football rivalries. And if you've ever been to a college game, I mean, it's very similar to the atmosphere. You've got just tailgating everywhere, everyone barbecuing, everyone enjoying adult beverages. I mean, it's pretty crazy for a high school football game. I was pretty impressed, and it was packed last year, and it went down to the bitter end last year, and this year was a different story. Harlandale put it on them pretty quickly. See, 7:30 here, man.
Nah, it's 7.
Okay, he's saying 7.
To you.
Okay, all right. I hope you know what you're talking about. Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm excited about that. Hopefully, we got some good weather. It's starting to get kind of cool around here. I'm enjoying that. There's no rain in the forecast. I know I saw some rain for Saturday or something like that for the weekend. Good. So, okay. If we win this game, do you guys play somebody from the South? Or were we talking about this earlier? Who would the second round
I think
match
it's Vandergrift.
Vandergrift. Okay, so that's up north. That's in Austin area.
Or Cedar Park,
Cedar Park, yeah. Both really good schools. Awesome. Well, Jake and I met about 2 years ago, I guess. Is that about right?
Yeah, close to 2 years.
Yeah, your mom called me, and we set up an evaluation. I remember we met at Antonian, had the evaluation at Antonian. Jake shows up. I think you had a yellow Harlandale football shirt on. Pretty positive.
7-on-7 shirt.
Yeah. Did you have tights? Because you always wear like tights of some sort.
Maroon tights.
Maroon tights. He's this big kid. Jake, if you've ever seen Jacob Delgado, he's like 6'3", 220, a real big, tall guy. And I knew about Harlandale because Harlandale's always been a real strong program, and they had Brandon Ramon there before, and Brandon had a really great year and went on to – he's at UT Panhandle.
Oklahoma State Panhandle,
playing football out there. Had a really good career out there, and I was excited that this is the next Harlandale quarterback to come in, and I see Jake walk out, and I was like, "Whoa, you're a lot bigger than Brandon. This is going to be fun." And then we start spinning it a little bit, and Jake turns out to be this big lefty who spins the ball backwards like all you lefties do. But anyway, I was excited about the opportunity to work with the big lefty from Harlandale, Jacob Delgado. Jake, where were you born and raised?
Here, San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Tejas. What was the first sport you ever played?
Basketball.
Baller.
I was playing. Once I was able to walk, my mom put me in basketball. So I was like a year and a half playing with 3-year-olds.
You were a year and a half?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Once I was able to walk.
A year and a half?
2 years.
There's no way you could dribble a basketball at 2 years of age.
They didn't. When Pee-wee you're little, they just let you travel.
Okay, so you just run around the ball,
get rebounds,
kind of like you do now.
Yeah.
Stiff arming people, throwing the ball up, and okay, cool. So you're starting at an early age. Do you even remember? I don't even know if I remember anything from when I was 2.
I just see pictures.
Yeah. How'd you look?
Like a 3-year-old. I was always big.
Okay. Always big?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got a picture of Jake here on the wall. His mom put together a really cool kind of collage of different pictures of Jake growing up. And Jacob used to be a big boy. Jacob at one point used to be rocking, he's got 63 on here. He used to be rocking lineman numbers.
That O-line.
No, yeah. That's, which is surprising. I don't have too many quarterbacks now that were formerly offensive linemen. Okay, so you started off playing basketball. When do you actually remember, though, like your first full season playing something?
Probably 5 years old, basketball.
Basketball. So basketball, was that kind of your first love? Or?
Yeah, basketball. Yeah. That was, we just always just felt natural.
Yeah.
Bigger than everyone, so just
were you bigger than everyone at that point too?
Yeah, I've always most of the time been taller than everyone that we played against.
What was the name of your first team that you played on? Seriously? I can remember the name of my first team, T-ball, 5 years old, Blue Jays, number 7, yeah.
The Crusaders.
Okay. What were your colors?
Blue and white and red.
What was your blue, white, and red? Okay. Or red, white, and blue. Well, what number were you?
21.
21. Okay. Why 21?
Tim Duncan.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Geez, what am I thinking? So, are you a Spurs fan?
Yes, Spurs fan.
Okay, gotcha. So, okay, he's rocking the 2-1. He's playing post, I guess, because kind of what Timmy does. Big Spurs fan. How'd you do your first year?
Better than most kids would at the age of 5.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Were you scoring points?
Average about 10 points a game.
Wow, that's pretty good. I think my career average in basketball was like 2.5 points. It was so bad. I've already talked about it enough on this podcast how bad I was at basketball. I had fun playing it though. Okay, so basketball was the first love. Big Spurs fan. What was the next sport you started playing?
Football.
Football, really?
Yes.
No baseball?
I didn't start playing baseball till close to 10 years old.
Oh, 10,
okay. 11.
Oh, all right. See, I started playing baseball first. That was the first sport. Actually, that was one of the only sports offered where I grew up anyway. But, okay, so football was the next sport. How old were you when you started playing football?
7.
What team?
The Little Cowboys.
Little Cowboys. Little Vaqueros. Okay, so he's playing for the Little Cowboys. And are you an offensive lineman?
Yes, play both defense and offensive lineman.
Okay. What's that first season like for you?
Not great. I only played 2 regular season games, and then I ended up breaking my collarbone.
Oh my gosh, at 7?
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened on the play?
It wasn't nothing football related. Well, we were playing backyard football, and I landed wrong, and just everyone dogpiled, and it snapped.
I've never had an injury like that. How does that feel? Sounds terrible.
I didn't know at the age of 7. Like, I had never felt pain like that, but
Sure.
my mom, she was like, they were having a party, so she put me in the bed, and she was like, if it hurts in the morning, we'll take you to the hospital.
Really?
And when I woke up, I couldn't sit up from the bed.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
all sorts of swelling, I'm sure.
They took me right away, and it ended up being broken.
Your mom, was she super concerned about her baby?
Nah, she was
really?
worried about the party, just having a good time.
Oh my gosh, that's surprising because I feel like I know your mom pretty well, and like one thing I could tell you about Jake's mom is she loves her baby. She loves her son Jacob. She loves her baby boy. Okay, so you're playing offensive lineman, but you only played in a couple games because you broke your collarbone playing backyard football. Okay, that was your first season with the Little Cowboys. Season number 2.
I ended up playing with the Harlandale Little Indians.
Harlandale Little Indians. You went from Cowboys to Indians. So, okay, so the big rivalry it's Harlandale ISD. It's Harlandale, it's McCollum. Is there one other team or just Harlandale, McCollum? Okay, so Harlandale and McCollum. And do you guys normally go to the same junior high, or how does that work?
They have their own 2 middle schools, and we have our own 2.
You have your own 2, okay. So if you're playing on the Little Cowboys or Little Indians, are the guys who playing on the Little Cowboys going to end up going to McCollum, or is it just kind of
the Little Cowboys? It was like the Dallas Little Cowboys.
Oh, so, like the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Okay, are the Little Indians like the Redskins, I guess?
Yeah,
or?
Well, the Little Indians, they started an organization for the kids in the RISD.
Oh, okay, cool. How'd that season go for you?
We made it to the playoffs, and then we won state, I think, that year.
Wow. You think? What do you know? How do you not remember winning state?
Well, because I don't know if we won state twice, or I think we only won once. So
silliness. Can't believe you don't know if you won state or how many times you won state or whatever. That's insane. Did you enjoy playing offensive and defensive lineman?
Yes, I enjoyed playing offensive line.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'd end up in the end zone before our running back would, because I would just make a hole for him.
And then just lead the way.
Just follow, yeah.
Okay. That would mean you're fast, because you're not a very fast guy. I don't know.
I was fast enough at the time.
You're fast at the time. Okay, I got you. What number were you wearing? Was this picture over here? This is Little Indian.
63.
How old were you right here? 2008. What is it? 7 years ago. How old are you now?
I was 11 at the
18,
time.
11. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, let's talk about, and so you're playing basketball and football right there.
Yes.
Which one's more of your love, or are they both equally?
Basketball.
Basketball.
Yes.
Okay. Did you have a favorite pro football team growing up?
Most of the time, I would just cheer for the Green Bay Packers because that was my brother's team.
Mm-hmm.
So I always looked up to him. So I would just go with that.
Give your brother a shout out, dude.
Nah, it's cool.
Oh my gosh. I've never heard anyone get denied a shout out. Hope he listens to this and just has an awesome reaction from it. That was so cool. Okay.
But now I like the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons, why?
Because when the Saints had that hurricane,
mm-hmm.
they ended up coming to the Alamo Dome to play, and they played the Atlanta Falcons. And after that, I just liked them.
So why the Falcons and not the Saints?
Like the Falcons color scheme better.
Okay, cool. Was Michael Vick quarterback at that time?
Nah, I don't think so.
No, who was the quarterback then? Don't remember, but they became your team.
They became my team.
And then you still follow the Falcons till this day?
To this day.
That's crazy how and that's not dissimilar to stuff that happens now, but Saints got displaced because of the hurricane, came to the Alamo Dome, played one of their seasons here. Jacob just happened to go to the game against the Falcons, and now he's a Falcons fan. Cool. Do you remember anything about that game?
No. I just remember it was the Falcons and the Saints.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. What I'm learning about my high school and college guys is not really great recall of their younger years. That's okay. Okay, so why was basketball more your favorite at this point?
Just it felt fun, just like the way it was on the court.
Mm-hmm.
I played with my best friends growing up, so it was always just something we did.
That always makes it more fun when you're with your boys. Okay, let's talk about junior high. Get up to junior high. What's the name of your junior high?
Leal Middle School.
Leal Middle School. What's the mascot?
The Apaches.
The Apaches. Okay, staying with the Indian theme.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Were you still playing offensive line?
No.
No.
7th grade year, I played some quarterback and some running back.
Okay, well something must have happened if you went from playing offensive lineman to now you're a skill player. What happened?
The summer going into 6th grade, I grew 8 inches.
How many?
8.
8 inches.
Over one summer.
That is insane. Okay. So you sprout up, you probably lean out, and how do you make the decision that you're going to try for quarterback?
Well, the coaches, once they saw me, they were like, well, we're going to put you at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, okay, I've never played.
Have you, when you play ball with your boys in the backyard and stuff, did you feel like you threw the ball pretty well? Or?
Well, yeah, I would just throw it deep.
Sure.
And they would just run.
Like most kids,
yeah.
Hey, just go deep. We're just going to toss it deep. But you felt like you could do it okay.
Yeah,
so
I could do it good enough.
Yeah, so he gives you the opportunity to do it, and you're like, you're excited, or how do you feel?
I was excited, a little bit nervous because it was something new.
Sure.
But we ended up doing pretty well that year.
Okay. So you felt like season starts, you kind of get in the groove of things, and you're like, okay, hey, I kind of like this quarterback thing.
Yeah.
Okay. How'd the season go for you?
First,
what's your number? You can't rock 63 anymore.
Nah, because I was always 21 growing up, and I'm dyslexic, so I just said, I read it backwards.
So now we're 12.
Now I'm 12.
And then you kept 12 ever since.
Today.
Have you ever had, because I wasn't that lucky, I had to switch some numbers because maybe upperclassmen had them or anything like that. You've always had 12.
Always had 12.
Baller. I like it. Okay, so he's number 12. He's a quarterback and running back now. 7th grade, how'd the season end for you?
Ended up 3rd in district.
3rd in district.
Yeah, because a couple of our guys got injured here and there, and it ended up hurting us.
Okay. Finished 3rd in district.
But lost to our rivals, Harlandale Middle School.
And Harlandale Middle School is the other school that feeds into.
Harlandale.
What is it like having a school like that? We never had anything like that where I grew up because the town was too small, but playing against a rival that you know is going to feed into the high school. So you're probably competing against somebody that is you're going to be competing with for that position when you get to high school. What's that like?
Just bragging rights.
Yeah.
You just go out there and play your hardest. So when you get to high school, we beat y'all back then. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet you still talk about it to this day.
Well,
I would.
We lost both years.
Oh, no. So I bet they talk about it then.
Yeah. But there's more of us now on our varsity team than their team.
Oh, I got you. I like how it's still us and them. Did the fans get pretty crunk at the games, at the rivalry games?
Yeah, for it being a middle school game, does
I'm
a
sure.
good amount of people there.
I'm sure. That's pretty cool. Did you guys ever get to play in Harlandale Memorial Stadium for maybe that game?
The 8th grade year.
Okay, cool.
8th grade year, they play us in the stadium.
Okay, and how would you rate yourself as a quarterback in 7th grade after your 7th grade year?
After my 7th grade year?
Yeah, after your 7th grade season finishes, how do you feel like you did?
Like on a scale 1 to 10?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. That's cool.
On a scale 1 to 10, probably like a 6.
Okay, so you feel like you did. How about this? What did you think you did really well, and what was one thing that you probably needed to work on?
Well, what I did very well, I thought we just deep balls, basically.
Yeah.
Coach would just say, throw it deep, and
okay, so you threw the deep ball well. You still throw a good deep ball. Okay, so he did that. What do you think gave you some trouble?
The defense. I really wasn't sure how to
read a defense.
Yeah, what they were doing, or
just kind of lining up and going.
Yeah.
That is probably how 99% of all other middle school, and guess what? A lot of high school quarterbacks are doing as well. That's crazy. But, okay, need to learn about reading defenses. No problem airing it out, throwing the deep ball. 8th grade season comes around. It's y'all's school. You're an 8th grader now, walking with swag. How's it go? How's the season go for you?
We ended up, again, 3rd in district.
Okay, 3rd in district. What's up with that? How come we can't...
It was us, Harlandale, schools that feed into Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
And there's those schools, they were just bigger and they would just dominate us.
I gotcha. Southwest, it's still a real good program too. So, Southwest Dragons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So all good programs, good athletes in that area. Okay. How did you do as an 8th grade quarterback? Now, were you doing running back as well?
No, just
okay. Straight quarterback. How was that season for you?
Good. We ended up running the ball more that year as a quarterback though.
Okay. Like you on like design run plays and stuff. Okay. How'd you do?
Good. Just take hits and people would fall off.
Okay. That sounds kind of like what you do now. All right. So were you still kind of bigger than a lot of people?
Yeah, I was still.
Yeah.
At the time, I was probably already like 6 foot.
Really? As an 8th grader?
Yeah, 5'11", 6 foot.
That's pretty tall. I think I was only like probably like 5'9", or maybe like as an 8th grader. I was starting to get taller. I was still kind of skinny, but I was starting to get taller in 8th grade. You know who you remind me of quarterback wise in the NFL? Ben Roethlisberger. When I see you and when I've watched you as you've grown and become just a really, really elite quarterback, you remind me of Ben Roethlisberger. And obviously that's a great compliment because he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's a first-round draft pick. All these plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, all this. But the reason I like Ben Roethlisberger is because, first of all, he's got a quick release. Gets the ball out quick. Super tough. Picks up yards when he needs to pick up yards. Throws a great deep ball. Very accurate with his deep ball. All these things you do. But the best thing is he's great at buying a little bit of time at the pocket. His feet, and you got great feet. Didn't used to have great feet. Got great feet now. But he's so good at making a couple little moves to buy himself a little time. So yeah, every time I watch Ben Roethlisberger, I kind of think about you, and every time I see you, I'm like, definitely kind of a version of Big Ben. Okay, you finish up with middle school. What middle school sports are you playing? Obviously, you play basketball. How was basketball going for you?
Good. We would just run people off the courts.
Really? Were you winning district championships?
Yeah,
or?
We were winning district championships.
Okay, so here's how it would have been. Or were you starting?
Yeah.
Okay, here's how it would have been for me. Of course. Oh my gosh, listen to this guy. If I was winning in a particular sport and I was starting, I think that probably might have been more of a favorite sport for me. Was basketball still your favorite sport at that point?
In middle school, yes. It was still basketball.
Okay, so now you're going to Harlandale High School, becoming a big boy. First of all, what does it feel like being a freshman at Harlandale High School?
It's a breathtaking experience. It's just different, everything. The transition from middle school to high school.
And the girls look a little different too, right?
A lot different.
A lot different, right? Yeah. I remember being intimidated as a 9th grader walking on campus and seeing like senior girls, and like, girls look like women, and I still feel like a child.
Well, I would always hang out with my brother because he's 4 years older than me, so I felt pretty comfortable around older people.
Because he was probably like bringing like his buddies like to the house, and you knew all them, and that's cool. Well, that's big brothers and big sisters are good for that. Did you do anything special in preparation for sports leading up to high school, or just kind of whatever you've been doing?
Just lifting and running.
Yeah. Okay. How big are you as a freshman?
As a freshman, I'm probably already 6'2".
Wow. Okay.
I'm probably like 190, 200 already.
Jeez, dude. It's a huge freshman. Okay. Yeah. So you show up, obviously. You got to compete for the quarterback position with the other guys from Harlandale Middle School, and how'd that work out for you?
I remember the first day, our head coach now, varsity head coach, he was out there with us, and there was 3 of us, and I was warming up with their starting quarterback, Harlandale Middles, and then they had this other kid from Harlandale Middle that wanted to play quarterback, and he was warming up with our head coach. And our head coach asked for the ball, and he threw it over his head 2 feet.
And he was like, okay.
And he sent him with someone else, and now he's our running back.
Okay. What about, but how long did you have to compete until that was your position?
Not long.
Not very long.
2 days maybe.
And then it was yours.
Yeah. And then they moved the other guy to receiver. Okay.
That's a good feeling. Huh? Beating out the competition, especially since they had been beating you in middle school and stuff. Okay. I know I would still be happy about that to this day. Both those guys still play football?
Yes.
All right, cool. How'd you do as a freshman? How'd the team do?
9-1.
Ooh, very nice. I got to ask, what's the one loss? Who was that to? Uvalde, yeah. Always a good program.
And that game, we were up 21-0 at halftime.
What happened?
Everyone was already looking the next week.
Yeah.
They were just saying we need one more game and we go undefeated. But they ended up coming back, beating us 24-21.
Wow.
Still remember to this day.
Who was I telling? I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I don't remember the touchdowns that I ran or threw. I don't remember a lot about the wins. I can tell you details about losses and interceptions I threw and fumbles. It's crazy how that's the stuff that sticks out, but it does. Okay, so you're a freshman. Was Brandon the starting quarterback on varsity at this point?
Yes.
As a junior? Okay.
He was a junior.
What's it like watching a guy like him? Because he went on to play college football. So, as you're a freshman watching him, what are you thinking?
That this guy's pretty good. I like the way he took over the team. Like, he led them to the playoffs, third round.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell he was the leader, and that, like, if whatever he said went, and people would go, like, follow his lead.
Did you guys have a pretty cool relationship?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because that year, I ended up making varsity baseball as a freshman.
Okay.
And he played baseball also. So
nice.
That helped us become closer.
Was he willing? Some guys wouldn't. I don't know how eager I would be to help younger guys. But if it's a couple years, that's better. But was he kind of cool? Obviously, you can kind of watch and learn, but did he ever?
Yeah, he would give me little pointers here and there what I could work on.
Cool.
Like a couple of footwork stuff and just releasing, like, different releases and stuff like that.
Okay. Basketball. How's basketball going your freshman year?
Freshman year, we started off preseason losing the Steel by 2 points.
Oh, wow.
But we ended up getting it together, and we won district.
Dude, this is 3 years in a row you guys won district in basketball.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. But you played baseball too.
Yes. Baseball.
Okay, that's right. And we haven't even talked that much about baseball. So baseball, and you made it varsity as a freshman?
Varsity as a freshman.
Wow, that's huge. So you must have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I played first base, but not that year. They just had me in the bullpen, and whenever they needed me, they would throw me out there.
You're a reliever?
Yeah.
Yeah? What was your pitch? What was your number one pitch? Fastball.
Because
if you're
lefties, we have that special. It just tails out.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, if you're the all I want to do is throw it deep guy, then you're the all I want to do is throw a fastball guy as well. Okay, cool. How was that? That's got to be kind of intimidating being a freshman on varsity. And
yeah, I remember my first time coach called me in against Medina Valley, and bases were loaded, and one of their best hitters were up to bat. So I just pegged him because I didn't want him to hit a home run. And then
how did he react? Was he ticked off?
He just took it.
Okay.
The next guy, I got him swinging, and then the third guy grounded out.
Wow, you do remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was.
What'd your first strikeout feel like?
It was pretty cool.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What feels better? Because I asked Ryan Huerta last week, because Ryan played soccer too. I said, what feels better, throwing a touchdown or kicking a goal in soccer? And he's throwing a touchdown. So what feels better? How about this? Draining a three, striking somebody out, or throwing a touchdown pass?
Throwing a touchdown pass.
That's what's up. Because if you'd have said anything else, like I said, I would have said, there's the door. See you later. Okay. So you're playing 3 sports in high school. That's a lot. That's a lot to undertake for a high school athlete. Sophomore. Well, you've been in the Harlandale program now for a year. You getting bigger, stronger, going through strength and conditioning program and everything. Show up as a sophomore. You play in JV. You play in varsity. What are you doing?
JV.
Good. I like that because. So if Brandon was going to be a senior that year,
be a senior.
Good. So you get a full year of still playing football. So how did JV go?
9-1.
Dude, very nice. So in 2 seasons, 18-2. 18-2, is that right? 18-2. Very nice. How have you grown from being in 7th grade I'm just going to throw a deep guy to 2 seasons in high school of freshman JV and 18-2?
I actually knew what defensive schemes were and what the defenses were doing, so it helped a lot. It made things easier.
How does it make things easier? I think that's because I'll tell you how it made it easier for me. When I started realizing what defenses were doing and it started kind of coming together for me, it made everything just slow down. And you hear quarterbacks all the time talk about it slowed the game down, slowed the game down. Like everything's obviously still going very, very fast, but when you can eliminate a lot of the field and just know that you're looking at a certain part of it, or when you know where other pieces of the puzzle are kind of fitting, it just does kind of make it easier. Did it have that kind of same effect on you? Or
it's like you just kind of knew where they were going to end up, so you found the holes in it.
Yeah, makes it easier.
Yeah, a
cool.
lot easier.
Okay. At this point, was basketball still your number one sport?
At this point, I was undecided.
Really?
Between football and basketball.
Okay, so football's kind of bumping up the list here.
Yeah.
How basketball and baseball go?
Basketball, we ended up doing pretty well. I'm not sure our record, but
Were you on varsity?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I was on JV, and then once our varsity team made playoffs, they moved me up, and I got some playing time against Flower Bluff.
In the playoffs, Flower Bluff. That used to be in our district.
They had a 6'7" and a 6'6" guy.
Yeah, one of them was a quarterback. Cody Brewer, I think that's his name. Cody Brewer, because he's your age, because he committed to Washington State. He's a big basketball player too, but that's funny. How was he? Pretty good?
Yeah, they were big. They were just dominating the post.
I mean, how could you not with two dudes like that, right?
I got an open shot and I just took it, and they still almost I thought he was gonna block it. He got there quick.
Yeah,
it didn't go in.
What did it feel like playing in the playoffs? Because that's your first playoff experience, right?
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Because our school, we took the JV team like to the game. Mm-hmm. So all my friends on the JV, once I got in, they got all crazy.
Sure. Basketball gets live, especially high school basketball, and especially in the playoffs, because basketball arenas, our high school gyms are so small. They get so loud, and it feels like the crowd's like right on top of you. It's different football because it's, way more open, and you don't have someone like sitting or standing right on top of you. I don't know. It's almost kind of more intimidating with everyone like right on you. It's so loud, but I'm sure like when you're doing well, that adrenaline rush is probably like no other. Okay, so in that year, Harlandale's varsity football did pretty well. Brandon, you said they went three deep in the playoffs. 3 deep in the playoffs. He had a really great year. He signs to go play college football, and your coach kind of tells you,
"It's your team now."
Was this the same head coach you have now?
Yes.
What's his name?
Coach Isaac Martinez.
Coach Isaac Martinez says, "Jacob Delgado, you're our guy. Lead us to the promised land." All right?
Pretty nervous at the time.
I'm sure. So then that's about the time that you and I met.
Yes.
Okay, so that's probably what your mom calls and said, he's the guy now. Let's get him ready. And the first thing, like I said, I noticed about Jacob was that he's strong. Obviously, he's a big, strong kid and can throw the ball really hard. Like most guys, though, that haven't had a lot of quarterback training, got to get the feet right. Got to get you moving more like a quarterback. And that did a really good job of that. And needed to work on some accuracy stuff, too. But that mostly comes from the feet. So we got him using his entire body on throws, and that really came together well. So put all that work in. Junior year comes around. It's your first year. You're the man. You're the starting quarterback at Harlandale High School. What's that like?
Nervous. First game, we come right before the game. I feel like I'm about to throw up. And
I was there. It was against
Divine
War Horses. That's right. I was there for this game. So you feel like you're gonna throw up.
Shaking.
Sure.
I can't even say the first play in the huddle.
Yeah. All the adrenaline's running through you. It's insane. Yeah. Before that, though, because you got to go report to two-a-days, and you're the man here in two-a-days. What kind of feeling are you having? Because I remember the feeling I have. Like, first of all, it was kind of surreal for me. Like, wow, it's my team now. It's always been weird because I've always been looking up to somebody who's their team. Now it is my team, and I almost felt like there's no hiding behind anybody now. Like, it's on me. Like, if we win or we lose, no matter what, it's gonna be on me. So that was a little kind of nerve-wracking as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure, but I liked the way Brandon had led his team, so I just tried being a leader for us and hoped that everyone would follow my lead.
Awesome. So it sounds like he was a really good guy to just kind of look up to and learn from. Awesome. Okay, so you play against Divine, first game. Got the adrenaline, can barely get the play call out. How's the game go for you? I was there, but let all the listeners know.
Ended up winning. First game 14-7.
14-7.
Yes, 14-7.
17-14. 14-7. All right. And Divine was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
They do have a good program down there. Okay. You got that first win. I feel like I saw you after the game, and did you say like your hamstring was hurt or that you hurt
My
your
quad?
Hamstring? Your quad. I knew something was going on. I was like, oh, please don't be hurt for the entire season. That's all I was thinking. I was like, oh, please be okay. Please be. But I know I told you, like, oh, you're going to be good. You're going to be good. Okay, got that first dub. What's it feel like to be a starting quarterback and your first game, you got the dub?
You show up Monday morning, and it's just like you feel like the man. You walk through the halls like,
signing autographs, doing finger guns to everybody. Your teachers are like high-fiving you.
It's a great feeling.
I got you. No doubt about it. There's nothing like it. Got the dub, and we're moving forward. So I guess tell me about, I guess, just the year as a whole. How do you feel like the year went? What happened? Did we go to the playoffs? All that kind of stuff.
I feel like our 2 preseason games against Divine and Somerset, they ended up helping us a lot during district because both those teams have very good, well-developed programs.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we got it handed to us by Somerset, it ended up like it woke up our defense.
Sure.
It told our offense like we're gonna have to score more, and it just got us working harder for the season. And then district started. We ended up making the playoffs. We ended up 6-4, like our whole season.
Let's talk about something right before that. Right before the playoffs. What happened right before the playoffs? It's a game. What game?
The Frontier Bowl.
Frontier Bowl. We talked about that a little earlier. So at that time, I was coaching Ralph Udell too. Ralph Udell, who's at Midland University right now. Shout out, Ralph, playing quarterback up there. Ralph was actually the first San Antonio high school quarterback I started training. And when I find out, that these guys got to play at the end of the year, not only that, first of all, it's so difficult going to a game where you got 2 quarterbacks that you love so much and they're playing against each other because it's like your brother's playing. You don't know, you can't pick anybody. You just want them both to do really well. But then when you find out how much these 2 schools hate each other, how much the fans hate each other, and it's just insane. It's just this crazy rivalry. I remember my wife, Kelly, and I went to the game. We were sitting up there with Jacob's mom and family. And I just kind of was trying to I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't even cheer. I was just kind of sitting there and just kind of looking at Kelly like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. But, okay, so you guys, it was a duel. It was a match. It was a shootout.
It was a defensive game.
Yeah.
Shut both offenses out.
But what was it like being as the starting quarterback, your first year in the Frontier Bowl? What was that like?
I don't know how to explain that game. Like you walk out of the tunnel and just you see everybody all around.
Because you've been watching it as a fan or as a freshman quarterback, stuff like that.
It's totally different from being in the stands to being actually on the field.
How so? I mean,
it's like you could hear like the crowd was so loud, like the ground was moving, and I don't know. It's just
that's awesome.
It was different.
If you got an opportunity, get a ticket. You got to get them early. Get a ticket and go to the Frontier Bowl next year. It is so awesome. It's a really cool experience. I can tell you my perspective. So my wife and I get there. We're making our way through the crowd, and like I said, there's barbecue pits everywhere, and the game's already started, and there's still tons of people out there barbecuing and drinking, and there's music going. It's like a huge party going on, like very similar to a college football atmosphere. And I remember holding her hand and walking through all this and saying, high school football games normally don't look like this. Like I've been to tons of them. They're normally not like this. So I said, this is going to be something really, really special. And obviously we get in the stands, and I'm just taking everything in, and we got this side hates this side hates everyone at a time. One side does something well, the other side just erupts, and back and forth. But it gets to the very end of the game, and is it 7-0? 7-0.
We're up.
7-0. We're up. Final drive. McCullum has the ball. There's like 7 seconds on the clock, or
you could say
crazy
that
in the fourth quarter, something where this was gonna be the last play of the game. Pretty much, it was on maybe the 45, 50 yard line.
45,
45.
Close to there.
Yeah. What happens?
Ralph buys himself some time.
Mm-hmm.
He finds a receiver downfield, and he just launches it.
He runs out to the right, sets up, launches it into the end zone.
No, he launches it to the 5-yard line. You see our corner and our safety both jump up too early.
That's right.
The ball goes over their fingers. The guy catches it and walks into.
That's right. That's what I meant. Scores. What's the first thing you thought?
This better not happen to us. Like, we can't lose this game.
My thought was, did that really just happen?
I don't even know how he got the ball off. Like, we had him, and then he somehow got out, and then you just see the ball flying, and like, you knew something bad was about to happen for us.
But that's also, like, plays like that are what makes that rivalry. I mean, that's going to go down in history. Yeah. People will remember that game forever, and that's why I just love rivalry games. Okay, so McCollum decides we're not going to go OT.
They wanted to go for the win.
We're going to go for the win. Ralph is running an option play.
To the right.
To the right, that's right. You guys do a great job. String it out. I think he kicks it. He kicks it out. By me kicking him, he pitches it out. You guys tackle him. What are you thinking?
Just, it was the greatest feeling. Like,
we
actually won. Like, yeah. It was just like the crowd, like, you couldn't hear nothing. It was a great internal feeling.
Sure. I've been a part of some games like that, and I'm an emotional guy when it comes to stuff like that. So there was one game where I just fell on my face and started crying. There's been other games where I just started like looking around and crying. It always ended in tears for me. That's insane, but that's the way it was. But okay, so you guys got the dub, huge win. That was one of the most exciting high school football games I've ever been to. Playoffs. You guys got Alamo Heights first round, and that was a tough game.
Yeah, they were very well programmed, well developed program.
They are. They're very successful for a long time.
They came out and just overpowered us. They slinged the ball around very well.
They had a really good quarterback. He went and plays playing football at Cornell now. Dalton Banks, I think is his name. So you guys lose that game, but you get to the playoffs in your first year as a starter. What, if anything, could you take away from that experience, that playoff experience?
Just the atmosphere and like how it's not the regular season. Mm-hmm. So like you figure out like how these are like the best teams, like they deserve to be here. So you have to step it up that much more if you want to continue your season. Yeah,
that's a good point. Like it's a different season. Everyone's 0-0, and it's the best of the best. And if you do not bring your A game to each game in the playoffs, you're going to get eliminated. And that's a good point. Okay. So then, are we still playing basketball at this time?
No.
Stop playing basketball. So how did football become the first love at that point?
Basketball was fun, but the way our high school ran the basketball program, it was more of a job and not a game anymore. It wasn't fun.
And you know what? I'm glad you made that point, because I knew we were going to do this, and I wanted to bring that up. I think it was our third workout maybe. We were over at Clark High School working out. We had little Leo over there, who's a wide receiver at Warren. He was catching. I think Jake Smith might have been out there too. Anyway, I remember I was trying to get you to understand this drill, and I was getting a little frustrated. And you maybe made a good throw, but I was saying that's not kind of the throw I wanted. I wanted a different throw. And you were like, "Hey man, chill out. It's football. It's supposed to be fun." I kind of looked at you like, "Yeah, you're right. But that's how you are, Then that's why you're so successful at quarterback, because you don't get too high, you don't get too low, and you are having fun when you're playing. And you gotta have fun, man. It's too hard. It's too much work not to enjoy it. You do a good job of that. Okay, so we're not playing basketball, but then you and I start getting it. We start working really hard because some really cool things started happening. What happened?
I got invited to the Elite 11 regionals in Dallas. No, in New Orleans.
Yeah, and then where else?
And Under Armour Rivals
quarterback challenge, yeah,
in Dallas.
And like we talked about on this program before, these are the elite quarterback camps to go to. They're invite only, true invite only camps. Only the best quarterbacks in the country get to go to these invitationals. So you and I start crushing it, start working really hard, preparing for these camps, doing everything, footwork, throwing. I mean, just everything that they do at these camps. We did in our practice to get you ready. First thing that came up was the Rivals. And it was in Dallas.
Cedar Hill.
At Cedar Hill, that's right. What was that experience like for you?
It was a great experience to compete with the best quarterbacks. In my own group, I ended up going first in all the competitions we had.
I like that too. I was there. I'm sitting there watching him, and when I saw him pop up first, and you do that at a lot of your camps, pop up first, and that's something I tell these guys, man, be the leader, go get it. When I saw you do that, I was like, heck yes.
And at the time, I didn't know Shea Patterson was in my group, and
Ole Miss commit Shea Patterson,
and then a quarterback committed to Kansas State. I don't remember his name though.
I remember.
And then the guy that ended up winning it all, he was in my group also.
So a pretty loaded group.
Yeah.
But you said, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and lead this bad boy. I like it. And what kind of competition was this?
It was mostly target throws.
Yeah, it's a net throwing competition.
Net throwing.
Yeah. And we knew about that, and we did net throwing beforehand to kind of prepare. And net throwing is different than routes on air or, what
stationary people, like a stationary target.
How is it different for you?
Just because you knew where the ball was going to have to end up. And then it routes, like certain people have different speeds, and so you had to put it different placements. But with the target, you knew it had to end up at that exact spot.
Sure. Well, and I think sometimes with target throws, you can kind of overthink target throws and just concentrate too much instead of just throwing it, And normally when you just kind of relax and just throw it like it's a receiver standing there, you'll be very successful. When you really just try to hone in and
when you try aiming, it messes you all up.
Aiming always ruins it. Correct. And I remember your first throw, you guys were doing, I guess hitches, throwing to the right. And you nailed the first one. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. I'm up in the stands filming all this. And I was like, yes, he knocked the first one out because he could have easily missed all of them on the first one and then went, oh, crud, I'm not, this is going to be a bad camp. But no, you killed it. You did really well. So you finish up the camp, and how was that overall experience for you?
It was a great experience to go against the best, and just after the competition, like during the competition, we did the target throws, and then we braked and we went into a learning session. And they taught me a couple of pointers here and there that would help a lot, like keeping my back foot flat.
Remember that. So you have a nice base to push off of, and you're not off balance. So a lot of guys will land on their toe, cause them to kind of fall forward. Awesome. I remember you telling me that. I was like, that's a great coaching point. Okay, so we knocked that camp out, do really well. Next camp up, where are we going?
New Orleans. Nike Elite Regional.
And this is the camp. Rivals is awesome. Rivals kind of newer. But Elite 11's been around for, I guess, almost 15 years now. Either 10, 15 years, something like that. And this is the camp to go to if you're a quarterback. What did it feel like when you got invited?
To get invited?
Yeah.
When I opened the email, and it was an official email, it was pretty. It was like, pretty awesome. Like I'm one of these guys now.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I'm going to this camp.
That's awesome. See, we do all the things in preparation to get you there, to train, to get you right for that. How are you feeling going into it? You feeling confident? You feel
confident, a little nervous, knowing that the Nationals' best receivers, everybody's gonna be there. So it was a little nervous, but just I knew that if I went out there and just did what I knew, what I could do, that I'd be fine. Sure.
And now at Elite 11, you'll do, some various footwork drills, stuff like that. You'll do a lot of routes on air. You'll do like a scale look where you're throwing 7-on-7 or half field, and then you'll do full field and all that kind of stuff. How'd you feel like you did competing at the event?
I think I did fairly well.
Yeah.
ended up sticking with this tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure he was my partner every time because he's a LSU commit.
That's a good guy to throw to. Yeah,
I would just throw it up and he'd make me look better than. But I felt like most of my throws were in the right positions and that I was doing enough to make myself stand out.
Dude, I felt like a proud papa in the stands. I'm not gonna lie, because you looked very accurate. You were hitting everything. You looked very good. All your footwork drills you looked money. You had your head up the whole time too. A lot of guys you can tell had not practiced that, and they looked sloppy in your stuff. You looked smooth on all that. It looked. It was a fun event. I thought you did really, really well. And at that point, not too many guys, unless you're considered an elite guy, not too many guys get invited to both those camps. So when you can put those on your resume, all of a sudden colleges get a list of the guys who compete in these events. And if you do well, kind of like you did, all of a sudden, hey, colleges are going to be interested in you now. And that's kind of what happened. At this point, you kind of start getting some emails from colleges and contact from colleges. And we kind of start planning a summer for you to go check out some different schools and all that. So tell us, I guess, what camps you went to over this past summer.
My first camp was at Angelo State.
Mm-hmm.
And we started off over there. The first thing we did was, we warmed up, and Walker
Petty, Medina Valley. Yep, he's one of our quarterbacks
also,
too. Yep.
Shout
out Walker.
The first thing we ended up doing was target throwing. And I was like, all right, I've practiced this. I'm going to nail it. The first throw, straight through.
How'd that feel?
It was a great feeling. The coach was like he was impressed. Like, oh, I didn't expect this to happen.
Heck yeah.
So he just kept an eye on me most of it. And we talked throughout the camp. And I felt like I made a good impression on him.
Awesome.
And then we went on to Midwestern State.
Mm-hmm.
And then over there, I ended up winning, what was it, quarterback?
I don't know. You won it. What'd you win, Dad? Yeah, you were like the most valuable player or the top quarterback of the camp.
Yeah,
you won the top quarterback of the camp award. Yeah, which is awesome. I don't think I ever won a top quarterback at the camp award. So, that's a big deal for a college to award you something like that. That means they honestly you impressed them in some way.
They liked the way when we went 7-on-7 drills. They liked how quick I was getting out the ball and my accuracy.
Yeah, those are good things to look for in a quarterback. Cool. So you tear it up there. What's your next stop?
Henderson State up in Arkansas.
Up in Arkansas. You and I went on a road trip up there.
7-hour road trip.
And we drove through like a monsoon, just a hurricane that was in Dallas. And I'm not going to lie, I was telling my wife, Kelly, I said I tried to put like a straight face on in front of Jacob, like driving through this, but there was a little part of me that was like a little nervous because it was raining hard and it was windy and it was pretty. Were you nervous at all?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
But
I thought it was.
I was half asleep at the time. So.
Okay, so we get up to Henderson State in Arkansas. It's beautiful. It's very green. It's kind of hilly up there. Went over to Ouachita Baptist University first. Just kind of go check out their campus and all that. And first of all, found out that those two universities look really similar.
And across the street from each other.
Literally right across the street, so a huge rivalry. And when we were at Henderson State, I heard one of the dads of one of the players who I guess lives in the area say, yeah, since you can see both stadiums, since they're like 300 yards away apart from each other, when they see them build something, then we'll build something, and we'll build something. It's a huge kind of rivalry there. So, okay, well, how did Henderson State go for you?
Well, at all these college camps, we do the combine stuff. We do shuttles, 40s. So I get to my 40, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be the best time I ever had. But I ended up, my left quad gave out.
Here's the thing. Jacob Delgado, like I said, he's a Ben Roethlisberger type guy. He's not a Michael Vick type guy. So unless you can run a 4.5 or less, I don't want any of my quarterbacks running the 40-yard dash because you are not up there to go run the 40-yard dash unless you run a 4.5 or less. You are up there to spin the ball, kill them with your footwork and impress them with your knowledge of reading defenses and stuff like that. You're not up there to run a 40-yard dash, guys. They could care less unless you run a 4.5 or less. Anyway, I saw that happen. I was like, oh my gosh, did we just come all the way up here to Arkansas and now we're not going to be able to watch this dude like perform? He's not going to be able to impress these guys. But you were okay.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't as bad, but I knew I couldn't run or nothing. Yeah. But I knew enough that I could put enough pressure during the footwork drills and enough to get the ball off in the right areas.
Because it was left leg, or what leg was it?
My left.
Left. I mean, he's a lefty. He's a left-handed quarterback, so it's his plant leg. You know, it's what you push off of. I mean, it's where like all your power is. But I remember when you went down to, everyone in the stands was, oh my gosh, like they were all worried, and I was like, oh no. But he was okay, and you killed it at that camp. I thought you performed really, really well. Made some good connections up there. Okay, where'd you go after that? Stephen F. Austin, was that it?
Stephen F. Austin.
Stephen F. Austin. Was there somewhere before that though?
No, it was
A&M Commerce.
Oh yeah, A&M Commerce.
A&M Commerce. How was A&M Commerce?
It was at a high school. They had moved it closer to the city so people would be able to make it in. Mm-hmm. There you got some of the DeSoto kids, and you're starting to get quicker athletes and people that they stand out more. Mm-hmm. But I just went out there and tried doing what I've been practicing all summer to do, and I thought the coaches liked what they saw. Yeah, and I made connections up there also.
And you did this with your brother, I think, right?
Yes.
You went there.
Went there with me.
And then you went to SFA, Stephen F. Austin. How was that camp? A lot more quarterbacks at this camp, right?
Because that school was Division I, so there was a lot more athletes just in general. But quarterbacks, there was a lot more.
And I think you told me there's a junior college.
Junior college kid that they were looking at, so most of their eyes were to him. But the coaches, when I showed up, they looked like they knew who I was.
That's a good feeling, not to show up and not for them to be like, who are you? But when they like, hey, we know who you are, hey, Jacob, or something like that, that's a great feeling to have. Yeah.
So, like when I went to go check in, it looked like they knew who, like they had my card ready or to give it to me.
Nice.
Or like they recognized my face or something.
And okay, so you performed there, and that's another thing. Like, if the more you move up to, like, if you go to University of Texas camp or A&M camp, there's going to be so many quarterbacks. And even in a school like SFA or Sam Houston, there's still going to be a lot of quarterbacks, guys. If you try out some at these Division II camps, there's scholarship football just as good as anything else. You probably have less people to kind of compete with, too, so that's good. Okay, so you finish up with SFA. Did you go to one more camp?
I think that was it.
That was it. I thought you went to one more. Maybe not. Okay, so you finish up. What would you rate your summer? Like, how do you feel like you? I thought you killed it. I thought you were crazy productive. I thought you got more done than probably any quarterback in this city. Anyway, how'd you feel like you did overall?
I felt like I just worked hard as much as I could because I know I was going into my senior year and I wanted to make sure it was a great year.
Yeah, awesome. I thought you killed it. I thought you did everything you possibly could, and now guess what? He's a senior. Senior year, Jacob Delgado, number 12, class of 2016. How has the senior year gone for you?
We started off the season and our offense was not clicking at all. What do
you think? What do you think? Just
we had a bunch of unexperienced guys for their first time on varsity, and I think they just had to get used to the game speed and that it wasn't JV. Like, you're not the best player, so you have to actually like do your job right, or a lot could mess it up, especially on the offensive side. Like one little mess up, missed block, or a couple of inches to the left route could mess up a whole drive.
That's a good point because, sometimes whether you're in middle school or a freshman or JV, sometimes you could just be the better athlete. But on varsity where everyone's really good, not only do you have to be the best athlete, but you normally have to have the best technique too. And you have to know your assignments inside and out. Or sometimes a guy that might be a better athlete than you beat you. because of them knowing the scheme better and them being knowing their technique, be more technically sound, all that kind of stuff. Okay, but you guys get stuff together, start rocking and rolling, start fighting through district. How's district ended up?
We ended up in third,
Mm-hmm.
but we ended.
But what's the but?
We ended up our 2 losses were to Highlands and Sam
On
Houston.
TV. I remember that. You
Thursday
guys should
Night
have won.
Lights. We ended up losing 14-7.
14-7.
Yeah,
should have won that
one.
game.
Yeah, that one got away from us.
Yes.
And then Sam Houston, we went into the game knowing like these guys are undefeated, but we're just gonna give it our best shot, and we know that we're gonna have a chance at the end of the game. And the weather ended up, it was downpouring.
Sure.
And I feel like that it made our team more excited. I don't know why, but we just liked the way the weather, and it pumped us up more. And we came out, we gave it our all. And it came down to the last series. They scored with like a minute 20 left. So we're down by like, what was the score? We were down by like,
I don't remember. I know it was.
we're down by like
tight.
6, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a drive going. We had no timeouts left, and we get the ball in the 20. And we get it all the way down to our 30. And we just ran out of time, ran out of downs.
It was a good game, man. And I remember I wasn't at the game. I was following it on Twitter, and I was texting your mom too. We were talking, and we were like, he's gonna win this thing. They're gonna get it. And Sam's a great team. They've finished first in district. They've always had a strong team. They've got a very, very, explosive offense. Great team. But sometimes you just fall a little short. That's okay. Real quick, you touched on it being wet, and I know a lot of any advice for quarterbacks, younger quarterbacks especially, who have to play in wet games. Wet games are such. People say that you can get used to it. Wet games are tough, man, for a quarterback. Any advice for younger guys coming up that have to play in wet games?
Just make sure you secure the ball all times. I tend to use my palm just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I did the same thing.
Have more grip,
mm-hmm.
and just don't try doing too much, because the ball's slippery, the ground's slippery. If you try overdoing things, it could mess up a lot.
I think it's a great point, and that's what I think I tell you guys too sometimes, that you can't cut as quickly. You can't drop as fast. You can't move your arm as fast. You can't do all these things, because if you do, you're going to slip. But the thing is, if you slow your stuff down, you're going to be a lot more effective. And guess what? The defense has to slow down too, because if they try to cut as quickly and jump as quickly and do all, they're going to slip. So if you kind of slow it down, or just be more secure in your steps, maybe chop your feet a little bit more, you're going to be a lot more successful. Good point. Okay, how'd the Frontier Bowl go for you guys this year?
This year we came out, and we knew that we were just going to dominate them. We assumed it was going to be a pretty well-fought game.
Because it's a rivalry game, yeah.
It was a rivalry game, and we both came in with the same record.
Okay.
And the same losses to both teams in district.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nice.
So we assumed, we had watched film on them, and we thought they were going to do pretty well, but we just had that edge that day, and we just
put it on them. It was 37-7 was the final?
35-7.
Blowout. When did you know, we're gonna win. We're gonna win big in this game?
Well, they received, and they went 3-and-out. So okay. I knew, I was like, all right, our defense is gonna stop them. We're just gonna score.
Yeah.
The first play, it was a toss right. We ended up getting 13 yards on it, and I was like, well, we're just gonna run it on them. They can't stop us. So both our running backs had over 100 yards running.
Wow, that's awesome.
And we just kept running it, pounding it on them, and
got
myself a touchdown.
You did, and it was in the paper and everything on the internet. Okay, so you finished 2-0 against McCollum in the Frontier Bowl. That's pretty awesome, dude. You'll probably be remembered forever for going 2-0 at for the Frontier Bowl, and for that game that will be remembered forever too. So you're winning the right games, securing your legacy as one of Harlandale's best quarterbacks. And now playoffs are here.
This year, this is the first year in Harlandale history, well, as far as we know, that 4 consecutive years to make the playoffs.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
We've done it 3 years, multiple times, but never 4 years.
That's awesome, dude. Very cool. What was it different making the playoffs this year as opposed to last year? I mean, because you were a junior last year, now you're a senior.
This year it felt more like personal, like knowing that this is it. After it's win or go home, and you're not suiting back up in this uniform ever again.
Sure. How has this week of practice been for you guys?
Exciting.
Yeah.
It's just we're flying around. We're just trying to get ready for this game Friday, tomorrow.
Nice. Has your coach told you guys anything about maybe tomorrow, kind of the preparation for tomorrow, anything that might be different than normal?
Coach just says we're already at week 11, so we've seen everything that we're gonna see. So when we go out there, it's nothing new. Just their speed might be a little different. They might have a big kid, but we're already made it this far. There's nothing much new that we haven't seen.
And you know what? At this point, you shouldn't be doing new things. You know, you guys have been successful all year. You've gotten to the playoffs. It's about sticking to this routine that you guys have had. It'd be weird if you guys went off routine and did something different. Sticking to this routine, not letting this moment get very big. In Jacob Delgado terms, you know, you got to enjoy it. You got to have some fun. But you know, it's a playoff game. People are getting excited. Don't let that outside noise block it out, and stick to the course. Everything's going to be cool. So we got, apparently it's 7 o'clock. I thought it was 7:30. It says 7:30 on Max Preps, but Jake says it's 7, so I'll show up early then. 7 p.m. kickoff against San Marcos Rattlers. I'm excited for you, dude.
Very excited.
It has been awesome working with you for the last 2 years, and hopefully we got 6 more weeks in us for the state championship. That'll be exciting.
That'd be nice.
Man. Yeah, man. Any final words for younger QBs coming up?
Just work hard. Work on your footwork, because footwork ends up helping you a lot. Just don't get discouraged, like, because mistakes happen in a game. Just don't let them overwhelm you, and just try doing your best out there and just do you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess one more thing. What's it like being a left-handed quarterback as opposed to, there's so many right-handed quarterbacks, and even now when I get new lefties in, I'm always like taken aback a little bit. It's crazy, and I got a ton of left-handed quarterbacks, but has it ever felt different to you? Or, I mean, I know you've been a lefty, but have you ever been treated differently by coaches or anything like that?
Just the first time I ever throw for a coach, like, they're like, oh, you're not right-handed. Like, they think I'm facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
But then they realize, like, oh, he's lefty.
Yeah.
So then they have to just switch things up a little bit. But
it's never been like a disadvantage to you or anything like that. Awesome. You get a bunch of left. I promise you, all my young quarterbacks, whenever they have questions about form or feet or mechanics or anything like that, I said, well, you guys know I train Jake, so go watch Jacob play, or go watch him on my YouTube channel. Go watch Jacob, because he does everything that I teach. So, yeah, dude, continue to do your thing, being a role model for this next generation. And, yeah, good luck to you in the playoffs. And then after that, I look forward to seeing where we sign for another 4 years of football. Awesome. See y'all next week. All right, Spinners, that's it. I want to thank my guest, Jacob Delgado, for joining me today. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said before, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks that I've ever had the pleasure of coaching, and you'll see him playing on Saturdays really soon. Spinning It swag is now available to purchase. T-shirts and performance wristbands are available now through my website, as well as my other social media outlets. Become a part of the Spinning Squad and have the opportunity to wear some of the same products that our YVQB Academy quarterbacks wear for training and on the field in the playoffs this season. On the docket for the next couple of weeks, I've got a recruiting scout for the Army All-American Combine, a former D1 defensive lineman, a former D1 All-American linebacker, an offensive coordinator from a high school in the San Antonio area, and much, much more. If you want to know more about my quarterback academy or you're interested in training with us, you can find me at www.yvqbacademy.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Snapchat. If you're interested in being one of our sponsors, you can contact me through my website. See y'all next week.